Let's talk about something huge, a hidden health crisis that affects pretty much all of us. A single problem that's at the very root of almost every chronic disease out there. Let's get right into it. So check this out. Metabolic health expert Dr. Robert Lustig dropped this bombshell statistic. A whopping 93% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy. That means only 7%. 7 of the entire population is truly well. This isn't some small niche issue. This is a full-blown epidemic. So what in the world is going on? What's the one thing connecting all these dots, from heart disease to diabetes? Well, as we're about to find out, the answer has a name: insulin resistance. So let's start right there with this hidden health crisis. Because insulin resistance isn't just a problem, Dr. Lustig argues it's the foundational problem. It's the starting line for heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and even dementia. So what is it exactly? Well, to put it simply, it's when your body's cells start to ignore the signal from insulin, which is your main energy storage hormone. Because they're not listening, your pancreas panics and just starts pumping out more and more insulin. Dr. Lustig has a really simple rule for this: more insulin, more fat. And that's how you get stuck in this vicious cycle. Okay, so to understand how we got into this mess, we have to talk about a huge misunderstanding, and that's the myth of the calorie. The whole idea that a calorie is a calorie isn't just wrong, it's been a dangerous distraction that has led us completely astray for decades.
And this gets right to the heart of Dr. Lustig's entire argument. A calorie is not a calorie. It's just not. Forget about just counting them. What really truly matters is how your body actually processes that calorie.
And here's the perfect example. Look at this. Saturated fat, like from butter, and trans fat from margarine, they had the exact same number of calories, 9 per gram. But what they do in your body couldn't be more different. One is essential for life, for your cells, for your brain. The other one? It's literally a man-made poison. Same calories, polar opposite results.
All right, so if counting calories is a dead end, then what is the enemy here? Well, that brings us to the real culprit, the main character in this whole story: sugar. This is where we pull the mask off the primary driver of insulin resistance. And believe me, this stuff is hiding in plain sight. It's mind-blowing. 73% of the items in a typical American grocery store have sugar added to them. It's in bread, in salad dressing, in things you would never think of as sweet. So you see, this isn't just a willpower problem. The entire system is kind of rigged against us. Okay, so why is sugar, and especially the fructose part of it, so uniquely bad for us? Dr. Lustig explains this with a stunning analogy that just makes everything click. He says your liver metabolizes fructose the exact same way it metabolizes alcohol. I mean, just let that sink in. That means the sugar in a can of soda is hitting your liver with the same toxic load as the ethanol in a beer. And here's what that damage actually looks like inside your liver. First, the fructose poisons your mitochondria. Those are the tiny power plants in your cells. Then, it creates this stuff he calls liver wax, which basically clogs up the whole system. And the real kicker? It directly forces your liver to create brand new fat. That process, right there, is what leads to insulin resistance in the liver. Okay, so this is all happening deep inside your body. But how can you possibly know if it's happening to you? Let's make this personal. Let's talk about the signs. Dr. Lustig says there are 2 really simple but incredibly powerful ways to know what's up. The first is a specific blood test that tells the whole story. And the second? Well, you can actually see signs of it right on your skin. So the number 1 test he recommends isn't your fasting glucose, it's a fasting insulin test. You want to get this number, and here are the levels you're looking for. Ideally, you want to be under 5. If you're creeping up past 10, that's a sign of a problem. And if you're over 15, yeah, that's your body basically screaming that you need to take action.
So what about those visible signs? Well, high insulin can cause these dark, thick, kind of velvety patches of skin, especially on your neck or in your armpits. It's called acanthosis nigricans. Another huge giveaway? Skin tags. If you notice you're getting more of those, it's not random. Your skin is literally showing you that your insulin levels are way too high.
Now, I know this all might sound a little bit daunting, but here comes the really good news. This is fixable. So let's talk about the solution, because it's actually an empowering and pretty straightforward plan.
And the solution is not some complicated prescription drug or some crazy extreme diet. It really just comes down to this one powerful, simple principle. Eat real food. That's it. If it came out of the ground or it ate what came out of the ground, you're already on the right track.
So let's break that down into 3 key ideas. First, and this is the most important one, get rid of added sugar and fructose. Just cut it out. Second, you want to prioritize fiber. It's sugar's natural antidote. And third, stop being afraid of fat and start bringing healthy fats back into your diet. And this quote from Dr. Lustig just reframes everything perfectly. He says, the fiber is the good part of the fruit. The juice is the bad part. And why is that? Because the fiber acts like a net, a shield that protects your liver from getting a massive sugar dump all at once. When you just drink the juice, you're getting all of the sugar with none of the protection.
And what about those fats? It's really simple. We need to eat the healthy ones, like omega-3s from wild salmon, monounsaturated fats from olive oil, and yes, even saturated fats like butter are perfectly fine. The ones you want to avoid at all costs are the man-made trans fats in things like margarine and all of those highly processed industrial seed oils.
All of this leads us to one final, really powerful thought. It's this idea that your plate is your medicine. This is all about taking back control. At the end of the day, it really comes down to this. We've been taught for so long to look for health in a pharmacy, to wait for a pill. But the real power was never there. It has always been in our kitchens. As Dr. Lustig says, the most powerful medicine isn't in a bottle, it's on your plate. So the real question is, what medicine are you going to choose today?